During your presentation, you talk about the rising number of young gamblers and the significant increase in online gambling being a problem. And I also heard about the billboards in predominantly the two counties that you referred. What is your agency or your organization doing to reach out to young people electronically versus billboards and so forth, and print, putting those two aside, considering today the person, I can pick a random age, under 35, the predominant connection to the world is the smartphone.
Sure.
What, and considering, any business owner or organization owner looks at, results per dollar spent on advertising marketing. Can you elaborate on what you're doing to address that rising demographic, which is not just unique to Florida, it is unique to the nation, if not the world?
Absolutely. So that's a great question. Thank you. We do what we can, is really what I'll say. We do other outreach initiatives. We do programmatic ads. We do geo-targeting, online banner ads. We have a social media presence. We have Facebook. We have Twitter. We have a YouTube page. We have Instagram. Unfortunately, with our contract with the state, it's very specific as far as what that outreach is. So it specifies billboards. So that's really all we're able to do under the current construct of our contract with the state. So aside from that, as you mentioned, the Seminole funding. So all that funding has to support the overall operations. And as you know, operating a 24/7 helpline, it's quite a task. And we have intensive training programs. We can't just pluck somebody off the street and stick them on the phones because it is a very serious issue. There's a lot of training involved.
May I do a follow-up? With that said, is your organization speaking about this? And when it comes time to contract renewal, are you putting that for consideration in the future? And let me be more specific with my question. I mean, nowadays, streaming is how predominant people view. So if I watch YouTube, for example, it seems to know about me, right? And I'm questioning, and I know this technology exists already in the private sector, that certain ads, and especially those of the public interest, have get special treatment, might pop up while a viewer is watching that. Is that being talked about? And I'm bringing the question up because of what you mentioned with regard to this disturbing number of younger voters and the online gaming, which will soon maybe perhaps supersede the slots, as just a guess, considering the trend line that you presented?
Yes, and you've got to remember, too, that because online gambling isn't legal currently in the state, those people that are reaching out for help, that's their primary problem, they're having to search for a number, just like you said. It's not mandated. There aren't consumer protections that are required for those operators because they're betting offshore, they're betting with a VPN, they're betting illegally. So they're not exposed to the helpline number. So to answer your question, yes, like I mentioned, the programmatic ads, the geo-targeting, that is definitely something that we have done historically. We would welcome and love the opportunity to be able to modify our contract deliverables each year to flow with what we're seeing on the helpline. Historically, we had done that with the department up until, I want to say, about 2015, when our deliverables were sort of locked in to what they were then, and we've not been allowed to modify them much. But we would absolutely welcome the opportunity to do that and to be able to say each year, here's what we're seeing on the helpline, here's what we're seeing in the state, and this is what we would suggest as, the best use of our contract and the funding for the upcoming year.